everyone. So all of us have too much going on in our life and in our mind, and we always say to talk it out in order to feel light and to feel better.
Jumping Mind is one of its kind mental health tech startup.
A safe place to connect with friends and talk about real life challenges.
To spread 1 billion smiles and create one happy world. That's what we aim for. We are Jumping Minds.
We are Jumping Minds.
So, download Jumping Minds app today and feel better instantly through personalized smart solutions.
Have you ever wondered what it takes to carry out last mile delivery? Logistics is something that we all rely on every day. While getting stuff from point A to B may seem simple, doing it a million times a year across the most difficult terrains of the country and in remote corners of India is about as complicated as it gets. With a fleet of more than 7,500 trucks in over 600 cities and a network of 33,038 PIN codes, Safe Express covers every square inch of India and delivers to the last mile and beyond. Keeping track of what is happening where requires us to capture that data at various levels. If we did that on a manual basis or on an unstable ERP, it would just not be possible ever. Digital transformation has played a key role in helping us stay ahead of the curve and is critical to our business operations.
With platform and cloud strategy being the core pillars of our IT roadmap, we strongly shaped a transformation vision around the fact that the upcoming era is going to be centered on platforms and not products. We are looking to move away from several administrative processes, bring transparency, placing more emphasis on agility in terms of faster technology solutions that will help our core business.
So we chose Oracle ERP Cloud, considering it to be the most stable platform on the market. It is good, in fact great, for managing any number of transactions and gives us our results quickly.
Oracle ERP Cloud is one of the most stable platforms in the market. It is good for managing any number of transactions, integrated with one of our latest innovations called SafeDrop, which is an in-house platform and mobile app to allow last mile delivery using handheld devices. This app was created using API integration with Payment Gateway and Oracle Fusion. It has helped us digitize the proof of delivery capture process, which was paper-based, to digital imagery. This has reduced the delivery to collection cycle down phenomenally by 5 days and made last mile connectivity easier for us. Oracle's enterprise-grade ERP and cloud platform solutions has helped us fast-track innovation, increase operational efficiencies, and improve overall IT management.
At this point, we are the only enterprise in India, I would say, apart from the esteemed Indian Army, that can cover every square inch of India within our own network. I would really like to thank Oracle for helping us grow and scale up and serve our customers far and wide across the country. Our connection with them has really helped us fulfill our mission and vision to reach the last mile without any hurdles.
Do you think we should start? You want to wait some more time?
Yeah, so we're just waiting for a couple of more minutes because I know a lot of people are still joining in. So sorry for the delays. We'll start in a couple of minutes.
Okay. Is there any previous session that is going on?
So actually, we had a session today with the founder of Tata 1MG. So
Okay.
that was scheduled in the afternoon. So what do you usually do in your free time? So, what
What do I
are your
usually
hobbies?
do in free time? I'm saying the last five, after I sold the company, I've only had free time here. My wife is very upset with me because I have a lot of free time. But actually, this free time has helped me a lot because it has helped me remove all the conditions that had been put on me to say कि ये करना चाहिए जिंदगी में या ये करना चाहिए. And actually, you know, we sold the company 5 years ago. 2 years ago, my mom started calling me saying, "अब 3 साल हो गए company बेचे हुए, why don't you do something?" Yeah. So then I called my coach TVG, and I was chatting with him, and he said he asked me a very nice question. He said, "Why do anything?" And I thought that was a great question. Why do anything? So I decided to not do anything. For one year, I decided I will let myself float. Whatever happens, whichever company I meet, I'll meet. Whatever books I want to read, I'll read. And that actually has been great. And I've realized in the last that 1 year, I realized that not doing anything is not an option. That you have to put in effort in life if you want to stay happy. If you want joyful, some curve in life will go up. It can be the curve of money, it can be the curve of learning mouth organ, something else, whatever it might be. Some curve has. That was my realization by spending one full year without doing it. And yeah, so now I'm on to something, and hopefully, let's see what happens.
I think that's really amazing because we're always conditioned to this is what you're supposed to do, this is how you're supposed to graduate, get a job. So this kind of free space that you've had, I mean, that must have been a really amazing experience for you.
No, absolutely. I think between the age of 20 to 40, and you used to run co-cubes, and co-cubes was dealing with graduates. So I worked with graduates for 10 years of my life, and I realized I don't want to work with graduates. Okay, because between 20 to 40, graduates are like a bow shot from an arrow. मम्मी पापा ने बोला है 10th में अच्छे मार्क्स तो जिंदगी अच्छी, फिर बोला है कि 12th में अच्छे मार्क्स तो लाइफ अच्छी, अच्छा कॉलेज तो लाइफ अच्छी, फिर अच्छी जॉब तो लाइफ अच्छी, फिर अच्छा उसके बाद शादी कर लोगे तो लाइफ अच्छी, बच्चे कर लोगे तो लाइफ अच्छी. Then you become 40 years old and you say अरे सब कुछ मैंने कर लिया जो मुझे बताया गया था. Still also I don't feel happy. So then you go to your parents and say, oh, why don't I feel happy now? And they will say अब तो तुम बड़े हो गए, खुद देख लो.
Right. There's a complete checklist that we have with us all the time.
No, absolutely. And I think we are very, very conditioned. And which is one reason I love working with entrepreneurs, because they choose a different path. They choose a path saying, we don't want to do this path. I want to do something else.
Right. This is for the audience. This is the final call. We're starting in just a few minutes. So call all your friends who are listening, and I hope you have a great time.
Tanya, start करते हैं, and then whoever joins here. Yeah, because we have to
Sure,
be
sir.
true to people who have joined on time and not wait for people who are not joining on time.
Right. Sure, sure. So we'll begin now. And hello, everyone. Welcome to this very intriguing Authors Aurora with Mr. Harpreet Singh Grover as part of E-Summit 2022. The Entrepreneurship Summit, with the motive of molding fresh entrepreneurs into the monarchs of their domains, embraces various workshops, competitions, and events which come along with the possibility of assisting, incubating the participants, which truly aids to boost the entrepreneurship culture in the nation. This year's E-Summit is themed as Ventures of Veracity, which is an inspiration for all the entrepreneurs to strive on untrodden paths in the pursuit of excellence. Today, we're very excited to have with us Mr. Harpreet Singh Grover. Harpreet sir is an entrepreneur, angel investor, founder, and the author of the very famous book, Let's Build a Company. So, thank you so much, sir, for joining in, and we're super excited to have you with us.
Thank you, Tanya. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And hello to everyone who's on the call. You know, this Sunday evening, you could be out with friends, having coffee, chilling, whatever you wanted to do, but you're here. So thank you for that. So, you know, I'm saying we can keep this interactive. You can ask questions whenever you want. But I wanted to start with the story of money. And I wanted to tell you that, you know, we are now 17 years. I'm now 17 years out of college. And मेरे बहुत सारे batchmates हैं. And those batchmates, you know, are earning different kinds of money. Okay. So there's some batchmates who are earning 25 lakhs a year. And there's some batchmates who are earning $1 million a year. Yeah. This is the kind of difference that is there. We had 480 students ka batch, and this is the kind of difference that we see. The important point here is that, but anybody who has made wealth, जिसने भी पैसा कमाया है, you know, to say कि यार अब मैं वो करूंगा जो मुझे जिंदगी में करना है, या go fuck the world, I want to do whatever I want to do. Those people have made money from equity. They've not made money from salary. Salary से saving आ जाती है, but anybody who has made money, they've made money from equity. Yeah, I'm sharing this as you choose to do, you know, whatever you want to do in your life over the next 10, 20 years. But I'll start with the story of money. I'm hoping some of you want to be entrepreneurs or work in startups, because that is where equity is. Actually, another way to get equity is to work with a large technology company which is worth trillions of dollars, and they give equity which actually over 5 years becomes 10x in value. Okay, this is another way people have made money. But these are the only three ways I know people have made money. They've started their own companies, they worked in a startup, or they have worked in a big technology company, and there also they have not made money through salary. They've made money through equity. Okay. But I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I spent 10 years building co-cubes. I started the company with my co-founder Vibhor. He was my roommate in college. We were first year roommates at IIT Bombay. You know, we ran co-cubes for 10 years, and then Aon Hewitt, which is world's largest consulting firm, they bought it out. After that, I wrote a book called Let's Build a Company. Vibhor and I wrote it together. The reason for writing the book was there was no Indian book on entrepreneurship. क्योंकि इंडिया की स्टोरी ना बाहर वाली स्टोरी से बहुत डिफरेंट होती है. Whenever we wanted to also read, we had to read foreign stories. But the Indian environment is just very different. So I wanted to write a book about Indian entrepreneurship. And so we wrote that book. The last 5 years, I've been, after selling the company, I've been a coach, angel investor in a few startups, you know, Ola Electric, Chayos, Shop Kirana, Bombay Shaving Company. These are some of the names you might know. I invested in about 50 companies. And over the last 2-3 years, I've spent my time thinking about one kind of child. And you know, I was talking to Tanya earlier about how हमें parents बोलते हैं 10th करो, 12th करो, college करो, job करो, शादी करो, बच्चे करो. और वो, you know, if you keep doing this, you'll be happy in life. And then when you do all of that, you still are not. And you ask your parents कि अब क्या करूं, तब वो बोलते हैं कि अब तो बड़े हो गए, अब खुद सोच लो. Yeah. So this one kind of child, and we think all of us are different, but you know, we are not all different. This one kind of child is a child who does something, some work without need of praise, reward or fear. वो इसलिए नहीं कर रहा क्योंकि पैसा बनता है, वो इसलिए नहीं कर रहा क्योंकि उसको किसी का डर है, वो इसलिए कर रहा है क्योंकि वो करना चाहता है. And when we do work that is really precious to us, that we really want to do, all of us look the same. All of us are lost in it. right? And that is why I love working with entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs are all in. They've said, I don't want to do anything else in the world, and this is what I want to do, right? So I want to talk to you about two journeys. One journey of building a company, which was CoCubes. It came from the first two letters of three words, connecting colleges and companies, and a journey of angel investment, and take my learnings from there and share it with you. So when we were building CoCubes, the idea came, I was, 1 year out of college, and I was sitting in my office, and my mother called me. And beta, ye uncle aapko milne aane wale hain. And who likes meeting relatives, right? None of us like meeting relatives. So I said, but I don't want to meet him. And she said, nahi, wo milne aayenge. So he came to meet and he said, beta, I want to invite your HR to come to our college. I'm a placement officer in this college. So I asked him to meet somebody in the company and HR, and he left. I caught him at a family function later on. I asked him, uncle, kya hua? Aap milne aaye the? So he said, beta, hum jate hain, sabko milte hain. सबको बोलते हैं आओ आओ आओ, सब बोलते हैं आएंगे आएंगे आएंगे, आता कोई नहीं है. And that is when I went to HR, and the HR said, Harpreet, there are so many colleges in this country. If I go 300 kilometers away and I'm unable to hire, I will lose my job. And that is when I realized, oh dude, in our country there are 34,000 colleges. So I called up Vibhor. I was the sales and ops guy. Vibhor was the coding and product guy. I said ki yaar, ye problem statement interesting lag rahi hai. Let's do something about it. And that is how CoCube started. But I wanted to tell you that an idea can come from anywhere. We didn't plan the CoCubes idea. There were multiple other ideas. We had an idea of late night delivery for food. We had an idea of documenting your life using various mediums. But I'm saying the idea that you will follow can come from anywhere. And we did not choose the other ideas. Those other ideas were actually bigger. We chose this idea because this idea called to us. And so the idea can come from anywhere. And when you have to pick an idea, which idea do you pick? To me, pick the idea that actually don't pick the idea, pick the problem that you want to solve, that your heart really wants to solve. कि यार कुछ भी हो जाए, ये करने में मजा आएगा तो मैं करता हूँ. Yeah, those are the two things we learned from there. As we started building, we started hiring people. Then we had to raise money. And we raised one time, there was an investor who gave us a term sheet. And we were very happy. So we started hiring people. We gave them offer letters, people joined. And finally, the investor did not give us the money. Okay. Now, the thing we learned, and this is something that I wanted to remember, that a term sheet, a SHA, which is a shareholders agreement, all of these mean nothing. Till the time there is money in bank. When you will learn a startup, you'll realize you need money to do things. अभी तो घर वाले घर से भेज देते हैं, महीने का मेस का खर्चा, party, all this चल जाता है. But when you run a startup, you need money. And there is no money that is saying मैं आपको दे दूंगा. There's only one kind of money. And that kind of money is money which is in the bank. Right? This was the third realization we had. The fourth thing was 5 years we had raised money. We had run the company for 5 years. We had raised money. We had built a large team, 160 people. We were in a fancy office, big office. We had a training room. We were only 26 years of age. We had a training room. 160 people reported to us. Everything was good. And at that time, again, this happened, that we were raising $5 million. It did not come through. And this time we had a bigger team. And we had to actually let go of 80% of our team members. We had to come down to like a 30, 40 people team, let go of the big office, move to a smaller office, let go of our entire egos, and just start again from scratch. This was 2012. And it was a very, very hard time. Actually, at that time, I called my coach, TVG Krishnamurthy, and I think that call saved our company. Because I asked him, what should we do? Because हम किसी और से बात कर रहे थे, वो बोल रहे थे चलो यार हरप्रीत कभी कभी नहीं चलती कंपनी, why don't you अब छोड़ दो, you can start something else, don't worry about it. But there were 100 people relying on us. We had to get them jobs. There were other people who had believed in our dream. We believed in our dream still. And then I spoke to TVG and he said, Harpreet, do not worry about building new things. You and Vibhor are smart people. In the last 5 years, you would have built something of value. Protect that value. और जो अब तक तुम फ्री दे रहे हो ना, उसका पैसा मांगने लग जाओ. And we did exactly that. And that advice saved our company. The reason I'm sharing, we actually went on to become profitable, growing 70% year on year from 2012 to 2016. And finally, that resulted in us getting acquired by Aon Hewitt, which is world's largest HR consulting company. Yeah. The reason I'm sharing this with you is that whenever you choose to do your entrepreneurship journey, you'll come across hard times. When those hard times come, do not think you are alone. Do not think this is very unique to you. हर रोज किसी ना किसी पे वो बुरा वक्त आया हुआ है. You're not alone. A lot of people have faced this. So at that time, call those people. People you can take advice from who have gone through these times before. That is what you need to do. You have to remember this. This can actually come in your job also. This can come in your personal life also. This can come in a startup. But whenever such time comes, remember other people have gone through it. Find somebody who has gone through it and come out successful and talk to that person. That is important. These are 3-4 learnings we had from our journey of building CoCubes. When I go to talking about angel investment, so we sold CoCubes, we sold it for cash. After we sold the company, we had to work there for 2 years. When I started working there, I had time on my hand. I actually used that time to do mountaineering. I had done mountaineering for 12 years. Now I had money. I paid 30 lakh rupees to go mountaineering trip to Nepal for 45 days. I started doing ultra other things. But one of the things I started doing was many companies. And actually started doing was, this founder, is not me. I will help the founder because I am very smart. All the money I put in companies, it went down because you can't help that way. A founder look for help once in a while, but in day to day, there are so many decisions to the company that you can't help every time. So for each kind of company to be built, for each sector you want to build in, minimum level of threshold need. If you want to open an IT services company, then you need a lower threshold. But let's say you want to open a electric company doing electric manufacturing, then you need a much higher bar because you need to raise $100 million in capital. Uske bina banegi nahi. If that is the case, then I'm saying you need a much higher quality entrepreneur. This is something I learned there. The other kind of founders I did not invest in, and this is again important, which were founders who were average. And I said, nahi yaar, ye nahi, they are not that good. I did not invest. 5 years down the line, they've actually built good companies. And the reason they have built good companies is twofold. One, they were persistent. They did not care whether Harpreet invested in them or did not invest in them. They said, we want to solve this problem statement. I want to solve it. I will solve it. Second, they got lucky because I do believe they are not the best people to solve it, but nobody else is solving it and they are solving it. And that is all that matters. The idea in your head doesn't matter. How smart you are in your head doesn't matter. What matters is, are you spending time on solving a problem? And they have been spending time for the past 5 years in solving it. The third thing I learned was, you can read the newspaper and think, oh, I want to open a company like this. The newspaper mein aaye har roz. But some of the most fantastic companies that have been built are companies which are boring, which you do not hear about. जो backend पे काम कर रही है. They are API companies. There are other kind of companies which are logistics companies, SaaS companies. They don't come in the newspapers that often. Your mom and dad और उनके आपके relatives को नहीं पता होगा उसके बारे में. But they are the absolutely great companies to build if you want to solve that problem statement. A boring company plus a great founding team is a great bunch to fund. If very smart people find a boring problem statement interesting to them, that I think is great. So don't go after all these e-commerce, etc., all these flashy problem statements. If a problem statement which is boring appeals to you, that is actually also great. वो सामने दिखती नहीं है, but उसमें बहुत पैसा है, and I'm saying you can actually do it without other people entering it. Yeah. These were some of the things that I learned, when I was on the angel investment journey. By looking at multiple companies, multiple startups, multiple entrepreneurs. I also want to tell you about one more thing. There was a time in 2015-16 when running a startup became cool. Some of my friends opened small funds to fund companies. Okay. All the companies they funded in that 1 year, all of them shut down. All of them. Because the reason for that was startups had become cool. And everybody wanted to do a startup because it was cool. It was easy to raise money. It was easy to get started. But almost none of them believed long term in solving a problem. That problem statement did not excite them. It was a good enough problem for them to start because paisa mil raha tha. So that getting money should not be a criteria for starting a company. And in times like this, when everybody is doing a startup, what is important is to do a startup which appeals to you or to work in a startup which appeals to you. Right? Both of them are great. Both of them are good ways to make money. In India, actually, given how big startups can get now and how ESOPs are there, even if you work at a startup, you can make a lot of money. But you need to have the vision to choose the right startup to work in. Okay. So these are some of the things I learned from angel investment. So there are 3 lessons that I want to talk to you about, right? That I took from. One, an idea can come from anywhere. So if you're actually looking for problem statements, so keep looking at problem statements. You're in college. The first idea all of you will get is placements. The idea that you will get is interview preparation. All of these ideas you will get. I have heard interview preparation ideas 100 times in my life. Every student who graduates wants to do an interview preparation idea. Okay, but it doesn't work. So if you expand your environment, if you read more books, if you have new experiences, you will have a source of getting more ideas. An idea can come from anywhere. A problem statement can come from anywhere. Find that problem statement that calls to you and then go after it. The second thing is tough times will come 100%. I don't know of any startup which has gotten big without tough times. Right? And forget startup. In personal life, in corporate life, tough times will come. When they come, take help. Don't shy. Don't go into a shell. कि मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, मेरे साथ ही क्यों हो रहा है, कल तक तो सब ठीक था, आज ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. Right? Don't do that. Take help from somebody who has been through this situation before and who has come out victorious, successful. That is the person you need to find. And you need to say, I need help. This is what I'm going through. And I can tell you that conversation can change your life. The third thing, after doing a startup, after looking at thousands of entrepreneurs, angel investing in so many companies, is that there is no single way to succeed. There is no mantra saying, ye karenge to pakka ho jayega. There are a lot of ways to fail and a lot of ways to succeed. Okay, so there's no single way to succeed. Find your own way. Okay, learn from other people's mistakes because you do not have the time to make all the mistakes yourself. To learn from other people's mistakes. Just remember there's no single way to succeed. And just keep on the path if you've chosen a path. Last piece, and after that we can, Tanya, go to question and answers, is, when you think of doing a startup, and if you are interested in doing a startup, do not think of it as a big thing. Arey, mujhe startup karna hai. Yeah. Just take one step at a time. Think of it as a project. Think of a problem statement and take the next step to solve that problem statement. If you take the next step, magical things will happen. People will support you. A co-founder will come. All of those things will start to happen. But you have to take the next step in solving a problem statement. If you keep it in your mind, it's a big thing. Arey, startup karna hai, company register karni padegi, फिर start karna padega, फिर